The best way I've found to caffeinate as a Sparky is to wake up at 4 AM, drink a single shot espresso 2 to 3 hours just before work, and another coffee 5 to 6 hours after that during smoko. If you're a tradie, I can guarantee you've been through the struggle of waking up super early in the morning, feeling like shit, and all you want to do is go back to bed. However, I've found that if you just change your sleeping patterns and how you consume caffeine, I can guarantee you'll feel better in the morning and be more energized throughout the working day. For the past year, my morning routine has been to make my girlfriend and I a coffee. I pour my coffee into a travel mug so I can have it hot after my workout, which is between 6 and 7 AM on my way to work. And like I mentioned, when it hits 11 AM, I'll hit the closest cafe and buy my second espresso for the day. And that's it, that's all I have. So I suggest you stop drinking a 4-pack of V and a Dare Iced coffee a day, and being a bit more conscious of your caffeine intake so you can better optimize your energy throughout your working day. G'day, I'm Corey, a licensed electrician from Melbourne. Alright, I know I was a little bit hard on energy drinks just before, and they're actually not that bad as long as you go for the sugar-free versions and the smaller cans. You should be fine. But regardless, I still think it's important to be mindful of your caffeine intake, because I can guarantee a lot of tradies out there are over-caffeinating. I mean, I've seen it for myself on site. Like, dudes would rock up with a 4-pack of V in the morning, down that before smoko, then they'll grab out a second pack of V and finish that by the time they get home. Granted, that's mostly plasterers, but still, you get the point. I think generally, we're probably having too much coffee and energy drinks. So in this video, I'm going to deep dive into what works for me, and maybe you'll get some ideas on the way. Caffeine obviously has a ton of benefits, and I'm not going to really go too in depth on that here, as well as the negatives, because there are plenty of other videos on YouTube you can watch, and there are also plenty of other studies from people who are actually experts in the field, and I'm just an electrician, so I'm just going to go over the bare basics. But pretty much the major problem people have when consuming too much caffeine is they become jittery, anxious. In really bad situations, sometimes their heart rate increases tenfold, and at that point you probably should take a step back and maybe reevaluate some things in your life. The other major negative is how it affects your sleep, and sleep is so important. And I don't think I need to go over the importance of sleep in this video. I'm pretty sure you know its benefits. But anyway, according to Health Direct Australia, which is a government website, the maximum caffeine a healthy adult can take per day is under 400 milligrams. So to give you some perspective on that, my 2 single shot espresso coffees a day contain roughly 160 milligrams of caffeine. And that's all the caffeine I'm having for that day. I might have some caffeine here and there in like chocolate, but other than that, I'm really having under half the maximum dosage. So I'm well under. So I probably could up the dosage a bit more, but I don't, because I'm just gonna be shitting all day. So yeah, 2 cups of coffee is good enough for me. And to compare that with these energy drinks, these have 78 milligrams of caffeine per can. So if I have 2 of these a day, that pretty much roughly works out to be the same as having 2 coffees. The takeaway here is probably know your exact numbers and make sure that's under 400 milligrams. But anyway, if you love coffee, I recommend you get this Prevail Barista Express. This thing is awesome because it does everything. It grinds the beans, it froths the milk, it pours the coffee. That's what I want. It's simple and easy to maintain, and it cleans itself. It is, however, quite expensive, so if you can't afford that, just get one of those like pod machines. There's one at Aldi, what's it called, like the Aldi Expressi, which I think runs for around $100. They just take those capsules, and yeah, they're pretty easy as well. And Aldi also sells like milk frothing machines if you want that. But yeah, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible, because as tradies, a lot of you are getting up just early enough so that you can eat your breakfast and head straight out the door. You don't want to spend like 20 minutes making a coffee with those, you know, fancy French presses or whatever the fuck. And then the next cheaper option is to just go with some instant coffee if you want to be a cheap ass and you're not a coffee snob like me. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I have my second coffee during smoko. I go to a nice cafe nearby, and I usually get a cheeky banana bread or muffin with it. Yeah, it runs me about 10 bucks a day, but whatever. I'm not going to stress over 10 bucks a day if it's going to give me a lot of joy. And yeah, that's it. No more coffee. I don't want to have any caffeine in my bloodstream when I go to sleep, or have like the minimum amount so I can go to sleep normally. Yeah, my last coffee is between 11 AM and 12 midday. If you love energy drinks and you've been like a heavy energy drink user for a long time, I wouldn't suggest just going cold turkey and switching straight over. The process of sort of decaffeinating caffeinating yourself will take a couple of weeks. You want to go slowly, otherwise you're just going to get like mad headaches and feel super sick. And at the same time, I'm not telling you to stop drinking energy drinks altogether. If you love them, keep drinking them. Maybe go for the sugar-free version, and maybe go for the smaller cans. It's really personal preference. I guess the biggest takeaway I'm trying to give you guys is to, be more mindful of the amount of caffeine you take a day, sort of track it, and then notice how you feel, like notice your general mood and see if you have better energy during the day. I forgot to mention, but I realized that most of you are normal and don't wake up at a ridiculous time like 4 a.m. but that's what I do because I go to the gym and I just cannot be bothered going to the gym after work. So that's why I get up super early, hit the gym at 5 and then head straight to work from there. For the past few months, I've been getting up at 4 a.m. even when I'm not going to the gym that morning, just because I can get that regular sleep cycle. I do go to bed super early. I'm usually in bed between 8 and 8:30 a.m., which when I tell people that, they think that's crazy. Well, they actually think it's crazy that I get up at 4 a.m., but when I tell them I go to sleep that early, I'm still getting 7.5, 8 hours sleep. It's fine. The reason I don't have a coffee first thing when I wake up is because when you wake up, your body naturally produces a hormone called cortisol, and the effects of caffeine really don't do much when you first wake up, except for maybe crave that addiction you have and get rid of that migraine you have when you don't have caffeine in your system. Again, back to when you're decreasing your caffeine amount, do it slowly over a few weeks to reduce those headaches. And the optimum time is 2 to 3 hours after you wake up, which suits me because I get up at 4 and just after my gym workout on the way to work, that's when I have my first coffee. And it's nice and hot because I've got that insulated travel mug. And then my second coffee is well timed because by the time it hits lunchtime at 11 a.m, your energy levels start to dip a bit. And the worst feeling is, after lunch, you've had a big meal, you just can't be bothered going back to work. Whereas if you time that coffee right, you'll still have a full amount of energy. So I generally feel a lot better after caffeinating myself properly. And just trial it out with you, see what works, see what doesn't. Tea is also a good substitute for coffee if you just don't like the taste of coffee, and also having no caffeine at all is probably good for you. Anyway, I hope I didn't drag on for too long and this video was helpful. Please chuck a like if you liked it, comment away any video ideas. I know this video is a little bit different and I'm still very early on in my YouTube career. I don't know what I'm calling it right now. It's just a hobby at the moment. So I don't know what kind of videos are going to hit and what is not and what I enjoy doing. So I'm just going to film a bunch of random shit as long as I'm releasing those 2 videos a week. Anyway, I'm going off on tangents again and I'm going to stop here. Thank you for watching. Check out my other videos here and subscribe.